Hello friends, for the deepest dive into the topic of today's video, write two numbers in the comments. First, how many seconds or minutes do you usually have sexual intercourse? The second number is how many seconds or minutes your woman wants. For example, a man may want 2 minutes, but a woman wants 20 minutes. There is a mismatch. Therefore, today I will show you a way how to solve this equation. Although I immediately warn you that this method is not suitable for everyone, because according to a urologist, there is a category of men who enjoy only stealing orgasm from women. When ejaculating quickly, a man symbolically and physically, as it were, steals an orgasm from his partner in order to punish her for some reason, so that she is unsatisfied. Only evil men act so cruelly, and I agree to do good deeds only for good men. Therefore, dear kind man, put like, and we get down to business. The plan is this. First, we will study the theory in clothes, and then we will move on to the practical part without clothes. Ejaculation consists of two stages. The first stage is emission. Two columns with sperm from the right and left testicles begin their movement up towards the prostate. At this moment, you men feel a pleasant tingling in the testicles. At this stage, ejaculation is completely under your conscious control. The contents of the seminal vesicles, ampullae of the vas deferens, and prostate acini are secreted into the posterior urethra. When the second stage comes, which is called expulsion, the sperm has already left the prostate and goes through the urethra. And it's completely useless to try to stop it by contracting the muscle that interrupts urination. When the phase of expulsion comes, the phase of excretion, ejaculation already occurs, because pulsating contractions of bulbocavernosus muscle, spasmodic contractions of the bladder neck, and relaxation of the external urethral sphincter lead to ejaculation. Obviously, the center of control of ejaculation and orgasm is located in the prostate. Then it is completely incomprehensible why men who do exercises to learn how to control ejaculation and orgasm use a muscle at the base of the penis designed to stop urination. Here, listen to how a urologist teaches men to do exercises. Try to do the same thing you do when you're trying to stop the flow of urine. So you start urinating and try to stop. This contraction is the contraction of the bulbocavernosus muscle. Feel it? Try it right now. This contraction is what we will do with you today. It's very easy to do this, even without the help of a doctor. Imagine that you need to hold on to urine when you have a strong urge to urinate. The muscles contracted or compressed at this moment are Kegel muscles. When urination ends, in the last seconds of emptying, you seem to unconsciously try to squeeze out the remnants of urine drops. Further, there are explanations in what poses you need to do the exercises and how to breathe correctly. Slow contractions, take a deep breath and exhale. While exhaling in a sitting or lying position, slowly and gradually contract the muscles for 3-5 seconds. Then also slowly without interruption relax the muscles. Quick contractions, 1, 2, 3, 1 contraction per second. If you follow such recommendations, you will waste your time, feel disappointed, and never experience the joy of simultaneous orgasm with your beloved woman. Because the main muscle for controlling ejaculation and orgasm is called the levator ani, the muscle that lifts the anus. I will help you learn how to skillfully manage it, because this muscle that opens up the possibilities for fantastic sex. With this muscle, I can firmly press the penis against the front wall of the vagina and accelerate the onset of my orgasm. And a man with the help of the same muscle can, on the contrary, delay the onset of ejaculation and orgasm. Take off all your clothes now. We will study your beautiful body. With your right and left hands, locate your right and left iliac bones. Then put your hand down here in front to feel the pubic bone. Behind, find the coccyx. The pelvic floor is a conditional circle fixed on four sides by skeletal bones. I depict holes from the anus and urethra. The pelvic floor consists of muscle fibers from just one muscle, the levator ani. The muscle fibers of this muscle are arranged in the shape of a white horseshoe around the anus. And what is interesting and important for us is that the left and right muscle fibers converge in the area between the tailbone and the anus and form a kind of muscle suture there. Now we are looking at a model of the pelvic floor of a man, a rear view. Pay attention to our diagram. In the pubic area, where the penis and testicles are located, there are no muscles. An empty space remains there. Therefore, there is another muscle layer located below to fill this void. It's made up of a group of muscles. I will name only those of them that are of practical importance to us. This is the bulbous spongiosum muscle, which is woven into the base of the penis. With the help of this muscle, human can stop urination. The bulbous spongiosum muscle is attached to the anus through the central tendon. The anus is attached to the coccyx by the anal coccygeal ligament. I, just like you, have the bulbous spongiosum muscle and the levator ani muscle. I'm using a vaginal trainer to show you the exercise more clearly. If the exercise is performed correctly, the outer part of the vaginal simulator will move along the same trajectory along which your penis should move. Insert the middle finger into the space between the coccyx and the anus. You have now found the anal coccygeal ligament. Pull in the anus, and you will feel how the soft ligament tensed up and became hard. Relax the anus, and you will feel how the ligament has become soft again. Now, with your hand, you feel how your pelvic floor muscles work. Recall that the levator ani muscles in the form of a white horseshoe surround the anus, and the anus is connected through the central tendon to the bulbous spongiosum muscle, which is woven into the base of the penis. Therefore, when contracting levator ani, your penis will always move. You don't need to make special efforts to move it. The main focus is backwards on the levator ani and the coccygeal ligament. When I contract the levator ani, my simulator goes to the center of the perineum, and when I relax, it comes back. Look here. The levator ani contraction, relaxation, contraction, relaxation. Now let's look at the technique of doing the exercise from behind. Please note that the gluteal muscles are not involved in the exercise. The contraction of levator ani, relaxation. Please follow the movement of the outer part of the vaginal simulator. Contraction, relaxation. A urologist who helps men with premature ejaculation quite rightly claims that not only a man but also his woman should be engaged in training intimate muscles. Premature ejaculation is the inability to control ejaculation sufficiently for both partners to enjoy sexual intercourse. Controversial because not being able to control ejaculation is understandable, but after all, the woman, for achievement of an orgasm, can demand more time. Or maybe the woman has some problems that lead to a delay in orgasm. To avoid delayed orgasm problems, I insert a jade egg into my vagina and move it with the levator ani throughout the day. It helps me develop vaginal sensitivity. If you want a harmonious relationship, introduce your beloved woman to the culture of training intimate muscles, because the pleasure depends equally on both partners, not just one. That's what it means to train one kick many times.
Right hand from Naoya Inoue. Maloney is down and hurt.
I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Bruce Lee. If you want results, you need to learn how to do one exercise. However, you need to make it perfect. The task is to increase the amplitude of movement of the levator ani. It's a completely different approach to training. The amplitude will increase only if you have the right technique. If you do the exercise hard enough, as I explained to you with an emphasis on the anus, you will soon notice that other muscles of the body are turning on in you. I asked you to take off your clothes so that it would be convenient to track the work of other muscles of the body. For one person, when the levator ani is contracted, the muscles of the neck suddenly tighten. For another person, the muscles of the face or the muscles of the buttocks, and someone stops breathing. This means that the respiratory diaphragm has tightened. If you have never trained levator ani, then your toes or buttocks are definitely stronger and you definitely feel them much better. Therefore, if when trying to train the levator ani, you contract muscles that should not be involved in the exercise, you will disperse the focus of attention and your amplitude will not increase. In addition, you can never do this exercise in a public place without being noticed by others, because it will look noticeable and ridiculous. Moreover, you will not be able to use this exercise for sex. Therefore, the first thing to do is to isolate unnecessary muscles. To do this, draw in the levator ani. Control your action with your finger and notice which unnecessary muscles have strained in you. For example, do your neck muscles strain? Fine. Try to draw in the levator ani even deeper. Control your action with your finger. At the same time, completely relax the muscles of the neck. You do this with every muscle that should not be involved in the exercise. Now let's do the right breathing. Our internal organs are located in the abdominal cavity, which is surrounded on all four sides by muscular walls. Below, in the pelvic diaphragm, which we are now learning to train. Directly opposite, it's the respiratory diaphragm. Behind, the muscles of the back. In front, the muscles of the abdomen. The pelvic diaphragm, when contracted, pushes the organs up, and the respiratory diaphragm, when contracted vice versa, pushes the organs down. It turns out that the pelvic and respiratory diaphragm are antagonist muscles. They act in different directions. Therefore, if during the training of the pelvic diaphragm you simultaneously strain the respiratory diaphragm, you will push the organs down and create an obstacle to the growth of the amplitude. The respiratory diaphragm must be relaxed, and there is a secret way for this. You need to open your lips slightly. No need to open your mouth wide, just a small gap between the lips to allow air to move in and out easily. It turns out that when your lips are open, you breathe easily. At the same time, your respiratory diaphragm is relaxed. You try to retract the levator ani, control muscles contraction with your finger, breathe calmly, and try to retract the levator ani even deeper. Tension of the abdominal muscles increases intra-abdominal pressure. Therefore, the abdominal muscles also need to be relaxed, except for one single abdominal muscle, which, when combined with the muscles of the pelvic floor, helps push the organs up. This is the transverse abdominis muscle, which is located directly above the pubis. I suggest you do the following. Put one hand on the anal coccygeal ligament and the other on the area above the pubis. When you contract the levator ani and feel how the ligament hardens, at the same time you will feel how the muscle above the pubis comes into tone. This is the transverse abdominis muscle. Today we are learning to do an exercise in a standing pose. This is the most difficult pose to train because this pose works a lot of muscles to keep the body in position in space. And it's in this position that you need to build a neural connection between the brain and intimate muscles, because this pose is the most difficult. If you learn to control the muscles in this position, you can easily feel and control the muscles while lying on your side, lying or on your back, sitting, kneeling or standing, holding a woman in weight. In general, you can do this in any sexual position. Therefore, now when you are studying, you need to train in a standing position. When you keep your muscles in shape, you can do it in any position that is comfortable for you. When my husband was learning to do this exercise, I took his middle finger and put it on my anal coccygeal ligament so that he could feel the work of my muscles. Then I took his hand and put it on his anal coccygeal ligament so that he could feel the difference. And then I asked, how much time do you think you need to practice a day to achieve such a result as mine? He got it right on the first try because he saw what I was doing. At least 40 minutes a day, better an hour. When you do the exercise, you draw in the levator ani deeply. And at the moment when it seems to you that you are tired and can no longer hold on, you need to try to draw in even more, even deeper. At the same time, check whether those muscles that should not be involved in the exercise are tense. And then hold and try to pull the muscles even deeper. After a deep contraction, complete relaxation. During relaxation, massage the anal coccygeal ligament with your finger to increase muscle elasticity and increase muscle amplitude. During training, you should become hot. Heat spreads throughout the body. A blush appears on your cheeks. Since with the help of levator ani, you actively influence the prostate, there are some signs as after a medical massage of the prostate. That is, 5-7 minutes after training, droplets of lubricant will be released from the penis. Right after the first training, you will see a qualitative change in erection, which you will like very much. If you have any questions about this exercise, please write them in the comments. I will be happy to help and answer. Thanks for watching this video. I love you, my dears. Write something kind, pleasant, right in the comments, so that I feel your love. I love you. See you soon.